Kiesman to kick off for the Warriors. Looks like the refs just waiting for Bedford to get onto the field, and that's been a little bit of a common theme. Looks like Wayland is just always really ready to go, and Bedford taking their time.
I think that's sort of symbolic of how this game has started, Josh.
Yeah,
Wayland has been ready to go. Bedford has looked flat out the gates. If you're Bedford, you need to turn it around right now.
As this one will be kicked into the end zone for a touchback. So we get to see a little bit of that cannon of a leg for Kiesman. So this Wayland defense, once again, just waiting to get going. As Bedford will now trot out onto the field. They'll start with the ball at the 20-yard line, which is actually the best starting field position they have had.
All night, Josh.
Yeah. Morrison, pass out wide. That ball was trapped by Charlie Naylor, so it is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Josh, another good play design there from Bedford. I mean, the man was open. Just quarterback Jake Morrison just missed him by a little bit. And you can see how this game is already taking shape. Bedford down so much. They're not sticking to their true identity, which is the run game, as simply they cannot come back from behind, or it's unusual to come back from behind using the run game. So they need to change up their identity here, use the pass, and Jake Morrison has struggled with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now a 2nd and 10 as Poor comes back into the game. This is a screen pass to Naylor, and Nick Dressens meets him and bulldozes him down. What a tackle by Dressens.
That's a great tackle by Nick Dressens there. And we already saw a couple players in Bedford getting into it with a couple Wayland defenders. This is just how much this game means to both teams. Both teams are fired up, ready to go, tons of energy. But Wayland has been using it to their advantage much more than Bedford has so far in this one.
And that could not have felt good for Charlie Naylor.
He's going to feel that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Dressens, a college football commit to Tufts, and he will play linebacker there. He is an outstanding player. As Morrison will be forced to scramble out to the right, and he gets drilled, as this is an incomplete pass. Nick Dressens playing with something to prove, as he put Jake Morrison flat on his back and absolutely bulldozed him.
Yeah, that was a great play by by Nick Dressens there. He found Jake Morrison, just absolutely drilled him. Again, sending a message, I'm here to stay. Nick Dressens, welcome as quarterback. Again, another one. That's not going to feel good in the morning, Josh.
Yeah, and you know, Nick just gets very, very excited on game days for football, and as this ball may have been fumbled, if we can see what happened there, they're going to mark this ball at the 11-yard line. Unfortunately, another punt where we unfortunately could not see what happened, but it looked like the punter fumbled the snap and then tried to run with it. Did not go well. Wayland will pick up this drive up 16 at the Bedford Buccaneers 11-yard line.
Again, Wayland without an opportunity to even start in their own half since the first drive. Bedford is just making silly mistake after silly mistake. That's a problem for Bedford, and Wayland just needs to take advantage of it now.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Adam Goodfellow, Dylan DeRubis, and Will Carr there in the slot on the left, along with Sam Hochberger lined up at the tight end position and Jason Tucker lined up in shotgun with Luke Tiselli. Tiselli takes the snap. It is a pass. Fires it to Goodfellow. Goodfellow gets down to around the 5-yard line.
Yeah,
a nice quick pass.
Yeah, that was a great pass, and Goodfellow was looking to make a play there. He was inches away from turning his defender and making it into the end zone, as we can see with this replay right now.
Yeah, and Goodfellow has blazing speed. Not really using it there, but he did run a nice little comeback route getting open. Waylon loves to run those as Tucker takes it to the outside, hurdles into the end zone for a touchdown. Waylon pouring it on here in the first quarter. Opportunity to go up 23-0, and another house call for the Warriors.
Yeah, Jason Tucker is saying this is too easy right now for him. He got outside, used his blazing speed to get outside, get around the defenders, and after that, it was just showing off his pure athleticism, hurdling the defender into the end zone. Great play by Jason Tucker, and Waylon up big to start this one. Only in the first quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, and this has been one heck of a performance from the Warriors, just really asserting their dominance and saying, yeah, Bedford, you're not the number one team in the DCL Small. It's us, and it's not close. So Waylon with a chance to go up even more, and they do. Harry Kiesman drills it through the uprights, so it is a quick 23-0 lead.
This is a very important drive from Bedford here because it's gonna get close to getting embarrassing here. They need points in a bad way, just for their own confidence, Josh. Because right now, I'm sure we can't hear what's going on that sideline, but we know must be a depressed mood over there. So they need to score a touchdown, pick up their spirits, and get going in this one.
Yeah, and this is already feeling like a game where we're gonna get to see a whole lot of underclassmen for Wayland. But, you know, they're not going to be afraid to really just floor it for the rest of this game, or at least the rest of the half. Try to score as many points as they can in this revenge game. So, as this ball falls off the tee, so it is a bit windy, as I'm sure you guys could tell. Maybe by the referee's pants on that waving. But unfortunately, some of our cameras will shake when the wind gets bad, so you just have to bear with us. But so far, it is really just a beautiful day here in Wayland as this ball is received. And another fake lateral.
That was a real lateral, Josh. That's a interesting play. I mean, we see all those crazy highlight films of those working to perfection. Right there, Waylon read it well and swallowed up the ball carrier. Great play there.
That was Javon Williams, the sophomore for Bedford, taking that one out to the 24-yard line. So Bedford needs a 76-yard drive to potentially score a touchdown and bring this one a little bit closer than what it is right now.
At a respectable distance.
Right. And so Waylon lining up here. Morrison almost trips and then kind of stumbles into the running back. I believe it's Miles. Yeah, it was Miles. Miles only gets about 1 yard. So it's going to be a 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9 for the Buccaneers. Three wide receivers set. And this is going to be a false start. Charlie Naylor got going a little bit too quickly on the bottom of the screen there, number 2. So that is not what a team down 23 in their own territory, deep in their own territory, needs. So this is going to be a 2nd and 13. So now Morrison in the shotgun, hands it off to Poor. Poor tries to just bulldoze his way through the pile, but this Wayland defensive line not budging.
This Wayland defensive line is up to the task of this Very strong running game for Bedford, that has not looked very strong so far in this one. Again, this Wayland defensive line showing up in a big way. The two-headed running game from this Bedford Buccaneers, neither running back has been able to get going, break off a long one yet.
Yeah, and this is a screen pass to Poor. Poor able to break a tackle and bring it down to the 35-yard line for the Bedford Buccaneers' first down of this game.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty big play for Bedford. 3rd and 11, get the screen game working. And also build up some confidence with Jake Morrison. That's his first completion of the night.
Yeah, Bedford runs a lot of those screen passes to the running backs and to the wide receivers as Poor tries to take on Nick Dressens. But Nick Dressens met him right there and stopped him in his tracks immediately. So once again, if you're just joining us, I'm Josh Schreiber. Alongside me, Garrett Spooner. As the clock winds down, this will be the end of the first quarter, but this is Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland varsity football. As the teams will switch sides, Bedford will still have the ball. We'll just get a couple-minute break from the action. But Garrett, what have you seen here tonight?
Yeah, so far it's been a dominant performance by this Wayland Warrior team. Bedford has struggled to really get going. That was the first down of the night, just coming in the last minute of the first quarter. That's impressive in itself for this Wayland defense. This Wayland offense, too. As I said before, it was important to get Luke DeSelli going early. He has a passing touchdown already, first play of the game passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown. So great game so far by Luke. He's been getting going early. He needs this for his confidence. And so far, I mean, no complaints if you're Wayland.
No, absolutely not. And do you expect Wayland to lay off the gas pedal at all or not?
I don't think until it's the second half.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. I think it has to get up to at least 40, even 50, especially in this type of game. Lots of energy. The coaches are fired up, players fired up. It needs to be a pretty insurmountable lead in order to put in some JV players.
Yeah, so we'll see if it gets to that point with Bedford now starting to look like they may be figuring something out on offense. Morrison takes a snap, fakes the handoff. It's a read option. Guess who? Nick Dressens right there meeting him at the 41-yard line, hitting him hard, and those hits are going to start building up as Morrison's slow to get up. So this is going to be 3rd and around 6 for the Buccaneers. So they will have 3 wide receivers in here along with 2 running backs. And Bedford trying to hurry to the line but decide against it. As this ball is loose, someone, looks like Wayland thinks they have it.
Wayland.
And they do! What a job by Wayland. Let's see what happened here on the replay. Looks like the exchange was sort of fumbled. Charlie Bolivar was the one to the ball was already loose, but sort of knocked it even more free. Can't see who recovered it for Wayland, but that is brutal for a struggling Bedford team.
Right when Bedford was starting to gain a little bit of momentum on offense, Charlie Bolivar comes in and wreaks havoc. Great play there from Bolivar. 24 plays on both sides of the ball. He's going to be a key piece of this Wayland team moving forward. He's only a junior, so he's going to be a key teammate his senior year.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw him score the first touchdown of the game last week against the North Quincy Red Raiders on a nice little boot play by Teselli. As Teselli looking to throw deep here, has to scramble, and he will get brought down. And he's asking for a horse collar, but he will not get it. So, hard to tell if he got back to the line of scrimmage, but Luke Teselli, as you see his stat line there, 8 for 16. I would argue that he played a lot better than what his stat line was.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with his stat line, but
Yeah, he was really a field general in that game.
Yes.
He commanded the offense very well, and that's something that does not show up on the stat sheet. Also, he was able to, again, they won by 20 points, a pretty safe lead. Lucas Oil didn't need to throw the ball a lot because Tucker was really going, so he did what he could.
as this is a screen pass to Goodfellow, he'll have a chance to show off his moves in the open field. He brings it down to the 30-yard line of the Buccaneers. It's going to be a 3rd and less than 1. Adam Goodfellow, we called his name a whole bunch last week. First week of the season against Boston Latin, not a home game, but he had 2 interceptions, and one he took back for a touchdown, a pick 6. Last week, no interceptions, but he was all over the place.
Yeah, Adam's one of these guys. We already mentioned it. Super fast, super speedy. One of the fastest guys on this Wayland roster, outside of probably Jason Tucker.
Yeah.
But he is going to be a demon all night for this Bedford secondary and the Bedford receiving corps, as he is a defensive back, usually playing safety, will sometimes shift into the cornerback position. So Adam Goodfellow, a valuable piece for this team right now. Next year, he's going to be a huge piece as well.
It looks like Wayland is going to call a timeout. A little bit of confusion there on the offensive side of the ball. So they want to make sure they've got this one right with 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, Josh, they really do, because 3rd and 1, I can't see it any other way than a handoff. Of course, you have one of the best running backs in the DCL, maybe even in the state, on their team, Jason Tucker. He's likely going to be going to prep school next year, taking a PG year until he likely ends up playing somewhere in college. So he is a very valuable piece. He is Wayland's best or most speedy running back in a good while. Wellington Pereira, more of a power back. He obviously, I think I could call him a Wayland legend at this point.
Yeah.
So
Definitely a fair statement. But Jason Tucker has quietly sort of solidified himself as one of the better Wayland running backs really of all time. And this season he has a chance to potentially lead them to who knows how far they can go, maybe even winning the DCL playoffs. So if he does that, you know he will be remembered here for a long time. As this one is a pass out to Hochberger, wide open. Hochberger gets brought down by Michael D'Elia in the open field. A great tackle by D'Elia because Hochberger had some room to run.
Yeah, and Josh, that's Hochberger's first real offensive involvement in this team since the start of his senior year. Great play there by Luke. Fake the run, throws out to Hochberger in the flat, and he makes with what he can. Again, great tackle by D'Elia in the open field. Prevents a touchdown there, Josh.
Yeah, and Hochberger actually did have a touchdown overturned or called back because of a holding last week. If you remember that little kind of screen pass to him. As Taselli pressured quick, and another great play defensively by Eric Miles on defense, running down Taselli. Taselli is not a slow guy, so Miles showing off his speed.
Yeah, and Taselli was rushed right from the get-go there. Didn't have a time to read the field at all. Completely came from his blind side. Good for him trying to scramble and get yards, but unfortunately, that Bedford defender way too fast.
So 4 out wide, 3 to the right. And those 4, Finn O'Driscoll joining DeRubis, Carr, and Adam Goodfellow. Taselli will keep it, take it out wide, lower his head. Tried to bulldoze Michael D'Elia, but does get brought down.
And there is a flag on the play, Josh. This might be coming back. It was thrown from the backfield. Likely an indication of a hold. Wayland offense is moving back.
Good call, Garrett. I did not see that flag. So, a good play. Taselli is going to be brought back. So now it'll be 2nd and around 18, I believe. Around 2nd and 17.
Yeah, definitely a pass. I think they can go either way with a pass or a run here, Josh. Either Jason Tucker, we know he has the explosiveness to get out.
Yeah, they're more pass heavy right now as Carr takes this one, stays in bounds, gets all the way to the 7-yard line, What a job by Will Carr. I don't know how he stayed in bounds there, dodging the tacklers.
Yeah, Will Carr, again, gets open in the flat, and he's able to tiptoe on this sideline, get right by his defender. Unbelievable he stays in bounds there. Sets up a first down for Wayland.
Yeah, Zachary Poore couldn't quite catch up to him. As that play honestly looked like it may be going nowhere, and he just turned upfield, put it into a different gear. So now Wayland, as Taselli almost trips, Eric Miles pursuing again. Taselli does throw it away, though. And they're going to call a roughing the passer here on Eric Miles. I don't know. Maybe it's a roughing the passer. Maybe it might be some kind of taunting call.
Yeah, but Eric Miles, whatever that flag may be, he showed his blazing speed here again. Running back, plays on both sides of the ball. Looks like a mistaked handoff there, or an error on the handoff.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. Maybe they are calling those. Actually, it looks like the flag
looks like
was
an intentional grounding, Josh. Because Wayland did move back here on offense. This is a flag on Wayland.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. I think it's 2nd and goal here from the 20-yard line. I don't quite understand that, though. I believe he was out of the tackle box when he released it, and it got back to the line of scrimmage, but maybe not. As Taselli fumbles the snap, he's going to try to run it. Stays on his feet and gets brought down, and he is
visibly frustrated.
Yeah. That was number 52, Jamie Buchanan.
And Wayland just called a timeout there, Josh. This settled them down. 2 back-to-back mistakes there from this Wayland offense in a pretty seamless game so far. Again, 3rd and goal. They need to drop their best play here. Try to get in the end zone one more time. Really put this game to bed early in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And want to get this sorted out. 3rd and 20. But also it is 3rd and goal, so they cannot get a first down. They need a touchdown in order to basically, I guess, pick up the first down.
And pick up 6 points along the way.
Yeah, definitely. And with 6:53 left in this first half, Wayland is definitely pretty happy with where they stand right now. Going into halftime, being up at least 3 possessions is definitely something to be happy about.
Yeah, so it looks like Will Carr and Adam Goodfellow out wide to the left. Finn O'Driscoll, Dylan DeRubis, Jason Tucker, all lined up outside. That's their main receiving and running back core for Wayland.
Yeah, I could see a screen pass to Tucker here potentially. They did run that play against North Quincy, so, only have 3 guys on that right side. Jason Tucker, that's dangerous. And looks like they did potentially have a screen pass to DeRubis. But
yeah, DeRubis looked like he was setting it up. Pressure came from Luke Taselli's blind side, though. It might have prevented that pass from getting through. I think that's a good decision there from Taselli. We know what Harry Kiesman can do with the field goal team as he is brought on right now.
Yeah, so this will be one of the longer kicks that Kiesman has tried. Should be around 36 yards.
Yeah, Kiesman has been known, though, to hit absolute
35.
bombs in practice. He's been able to hit from 40, 45. Don't want to put on the announcer jinx here, but he has the ability to hit these field goals.
And snap here, the hold. He kind of skied that one up in the air. No good, short. It did have the accuracy. It looks like he sort of just got under that one a little bit more than he would have liked. So Bedford will take over at the 25-yard line. So really no harm, no foul. Bedford does not get great field position. And Wayland will send the defensive team out.
And we already know how much Bedford has struggled on offense. If you're Wayland, I think that's a smart decision, trying the field goal, testing out your kicker's leg. You might need him later in the DCL playoffs. It's been a great game so far from Wayland. This defense is just looking to continue this momentum of just pure dominance so far. Bedford, again, only 1 first down the entire game so far, and we only have 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Kiesman does definitely have the leg for that type of field goal. I think that was definitely just...
I think he was disrupted. There was pressure coming to the field goal kicker, pressure from his blind side, so that might have affected the kick a little bit.
Yeah, as Morrison lines up with Miles in the backfield with him, a play-action pass, and they are going to get nowhere here.
Yeah, Alessandro Subia, first time calling his name, the tight end, he picks up, just gets back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
He may have lost yards, actually. I don't, kind of hard to tell, but that was a great job by, it looks like,
Shane DeRubis there.
Shane DeRubis, yeah. And Reed Van Slet. And yeah, they did lose 1 yard. So it'll be a 2nd and long. Wayland takes another timeout. You can see Shane DeRubis kind of trying to communicate with a lot of guys. It looks like some guys were lined up in the wrong position.
Yeah, that's Wayland's 3rd timeout of the half so far. A couple miscommunications. Again, really at this point in the game, it's not that big of a deal looking like for Wayland. Who knows, maybe if Bedford can strike an amazing comeback, it will come to haunt them later in the game. But again, Wayland just, even through the couple of defensive miscommunications, they've had very little defensive penalties so far, none on the game, which has been very impressive. They had a couple issues with offsides in their last game at North Quincy. North Quincy had the hard count on them. Wayland has not jumped at all to this Bedford football team, so it's a good start for this Wayland defense.
Yeah, and this Bedford team really needs to get going here because they started to get going and then fumbled the ball. So they want to show themselves that they actually can do something as Zachary Poor is thrown to the ground by a gang of Wayland tacklers. And it's sort of starting to look like that a power game is not going to work against this Warriors defense. So it will still be Poor in the backfield with Morrison.
3rd and long here. Bedford's going to need to throw the ball. A lot of miscommunication, though, on this offensive set for Bedford.
So now Morrison drops back to pass. Pressure coming, but it is a screen pass that was intended for Zachary Poor, but was nowhere near him. And anytime you see a defensive line just really barreling towards a quarterback like that, it indicates a screen pass. So if they had completed it, they may have.
Yeah, they had about 5 Wayland defenders in the backfield there. So if that pass is completed, they have blockers downfield. That might be a first down completion there. Luckily for Wayland, the pressure was just enough to take Morrison off his game, and he was able to throw the incomplete pass.
As Adam Laguerre is the punter, and this one is snapped over his head. He kicks it through the end zone for a safety. A lot of really bad play by Bedford in the special teams categories. That one is launched over his head.
That was quite snap. Might be a heads-up play by their punter, not picking it up and, I don't know, trying to get rocked in the end zone, maybe fumble it. Kicks it back in the end zone. That should be a safety for 2 points. Although there did look like there's a flag thrown on the play. Don't know what that is. I believe it might have been picked up by the official, although I did see a big yellow marker.
Yeah, either way, it probably won't have much of an effect because maybe if there was some rule against kicking it out of the end zone.
That's the only question.
Yeah. You know, all the rules different based on the level of play, but it looks like they're going to let them just go ahead with the safety kick. So I guess it is a kickoff and not a punt like you would see in the NFL or in college. And Nicholas Tatarchuk, one of their wide receivers, is going to be kicking it. Looks like it's Shane Sutton back deep to return, as you see right there. Shane Sutton This ball is going to bounce short. Cannot really see what's going on. It was picked up. And down the sideline goes Sutton. Sutton with a burst of speed down to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle from the kicker to Tarchuk. Great tackle there, but Shane Sutton, backup running back for this Wayland offense. And that just shows how good this Wayland running back core is. This guy, Shane Sutton, if he were to step in to any other offensive setup, he would be an automatic running back 1 for that team. So Shane Sutton showing off that speed. This Wayland team not only is good now, but they have a lot of key juniors that are going to be important pieces for them moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shane Sutton, I'm sure he'll get some time here in this game soon enough. But he is more than capable of being a running back for a varsity football team, really any team. You know what? I'm going to say it now. I think Shane Sutton will definitely have a touchdown in this game.
Okay, I like that prediction.
So,
although it looks like that might have been brought back, actually, Josh.
oh yeah, it was brought back. Maybe the ball was blown dead or something. Either way, it will be Jason Tucker taking it up the middle and stopped in his tracks.
So James Buchanan there. Jamie Buchanan, excuse me, stopping Jason Tucker. That's not an easy person to tackle.
Yeah, definitely not. And he sort of just wrapped them up. So a 4-yard carry for Tucker. It will be a 2nd and 6. Tucker averaging around 8 yards per touch. Not necessarily carry, but 8 yards per touch, which is really incredible. As Tucker trying to find an outside, he does. Tucker down the sideline, pushed out of bounds by Naylor for a big gain.
That will help the yards per touch average, Josh.
Yeah, definitely. And you see, he's so shifty in the backfield. What it looks like, they have 4 guys ready to tackle him. He just really turns in another direction, puts on the jets, and you let him get the edge like that. And they're lucky to have brought him down for only a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, exactly, Josh. I mean, once Jason Tucker finds the edge, it is tough to stop him, especially when he's at full speed. He was stopped. He got bumped a little bit there. He had to decelerate.
And Taselli now, that pass may have been tipped, but it will be incomplete to Adam Goodfellow.
Yeah, Wayland is experimenting. I think they will continue to experiment more with this passing game now that they have such a comfortable lead. At this point, why not? And here's a glimpse of it right now. Taselli gets a snap, and he looks immediately towards Adam Goodfellow, who just is unable to come down with the diving catch.
So now it is Taselli with Dressens at the H-back, and as sort of runs into Tucker, but Tucker still manages to pick up 4 yards.
That's just incredible, Josh. The fact that he was able to get around there, bounce off tacklers like he did to pick up 4 yards. Most running backs in the DCL, in the state, would have been stopped at the line of scrimmage there, but not Jason Tucker. He keeps going.
Yeah, and we've seen a few times now in this game, Taselli and Tucker, a little bit of miscommunication running into each other. Hopefully they can get that sorted out. As this one passed out wide to Goodfellow, he has room to run, gets the outside, and gets brought down at around the 24-yard line. Great job by Adam Goodfellow in open field, shedding a tackler.
Yeah, that was very slippery there from Adam Goodfellow. Again, just shows his quickness on there, avoiding 2, made him miss, and went down the sideline. And you see after the play, he gives the first down signal right in the faces of the Bedford defenders.
Yeah, so now under 3 minutes left in this game. Tucker takes it to the outside, and that is an outstanding tackle by Bedford's Eric Miles. So now it'll be 2nd and long for Wayland. approaching 2 minutes left to go here in this first half. Wayland looking to score one more time before the end of the half. Taselli looking for Dressens. Instead throws it to Carr, but it goes over his head for an incomplete pass.
Yeah, so now a third down for Wayland. The clock winding down into the second half. Points here would be nice for Wayland. They're already up big.
Not sure what's happening there, but anyways, stay tuned for halftime. We'll have a quick little recap of what's going on, everything like that, and then we will have an interview with Coach Parsegian. That'll be, I believe, Jimmy Paw doing that interview. So be really excited to hear what he has to say about this game. As you know, they were really anticipating, really looking forward to this game. As that pass is incomplete once again.
It looks like Harry Kiesman might take the field here again, or remain on the field. Although they might be going for this one.
Yeah, 4th and 8, not terribly long. Still considered 4th and long, though. Yeah, they are going for it. Jason Tucker in the backfield with Taselli. And Taselli with the hard count. They're trying to get them to jump. Taselli with the snap. Downfield, almost intercepted by Laguerre.
And Derubis almost got that on the second effort there, off of Derrier's hands. That would have been a circus catch there. But now it's Bedford ball from in Wayland territory, but they have to try to execute a 2-minute drill here. But here's a replay of Luke Taselli's pass.
A little bit of a dangerous pass. And really right to Laguerre. I thought it was tipped by Derubis before, but it was not. Laguerre just could not hang on to
Laguerre looks
it.
frustrated, wasn't able to pick that off. But dropping that might have been the best play for Bedford, given it was 4th down. They get their ball now, the 23. Given Wayland's speed there at receiver, they probably would have been able to wrap him up quickly.
So Wayland trying to get situated here as Sam Hochberger lined up as a cornerback. So that's a new position for him, as Morrison thrown down to the ground for a loss of about 1. This Wayland defense just stifling.
Yeah, they've looked great all game. I think it's hard to improve from a shutout, but I think they're looking fantastic now. Just much more free-flowing, better communication all around.
And Morrison brought down after trying to scramble. Damian Parsegian there to bring him down. It'll be 3rd and long now, with a minute left to go in the first half. So Bedford.
And you see Nick Dresden's, Josh, getting a rest here. Looks like Luciano Sebastianelli subbed in for him at linebacker. That might be a sign of stuff to come, as more players that are not formally in the rotation look to take over the ranks.
As this ball is intercepted.
Great play there from Shane
Derubis ripped it out of the Bedford player's hands, and Wayland all of a sudden might have some time to score. And that is pretty ironic because Bedford was really done in the half. They were just running the clock down. Not sure why they threw a pass. That's exactly why you really don't throw a pass in that situation. And Shane Derubis picked it off.
That's a fantastic play from him. I mean, we're talking about another guy, 2-year starter, senior captain on this team, just makes big plays. And that was definitely a huge play for Wayland. They get the ball back, 30 seconds left. Let's see what Luke Taselli and this Wayland offense can do, because this is actually a good testing point to moving forward in the season. Will they try to go for the touchdown, or will they just set up Kiesman for a shorter field goal?
Yeah, so we will see what they decide to do here as Taselli lines up in the shotgun. Taselli, play action pass, looking to throw deep. Almost gets it to
out of the hands
Will
there.
Carr. So the clock will stop here. So 20 seconds left in this game, or excuse me, in the half. Although Wayland has put up a game's worth of points so far. Taselli dropping back to pass. It is a screen
That
pass.
should have been intercepted.
Another pass almost intercepted. Not a great decision by Taselli there. Let's see what happened. Looks like Taselli dropped back to pass and right to. Couldn't really see who that was, but the Buccaneers cannot catch a single break. So 14 seconds left to go, third down. Taselli looking to pass again and brought down from behind for another sack. Guess who? Eric Miles. And really, Bedford has not had a good game by any means. But if you are, I guess, to point out one positive benefit to this game, that was definitely Eric Miles, not really on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball, had, I believe it was 2 sacks, but also forced an intentional grounding, so I believe that might be 3 sacks.
3 sacks, yes.
So 3 sacks and a half, nothing to sneeze at. And if you look at this score, you wouldn't expect to see a guy like Eric Miles have that type of game.
Yeah, Josh. Overall, though, a pretty dominant half from Wayland, I think it's safe to say. They have looked great. And yes, but as you were saying, Eric Miles, he's been that one bright spot on this Bedford team. He's all over the place on the defensive end, getting to Luke Taselli. And then on the offensive end, he's had a couple runs, has had trouble breaking free. But again, a good start for Wayland here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Josh Schreiber. Alongside me, Garrett Spooner. This is Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland Varsity football. We're just getting ready for our halftime interview with Coach Parsegian. But before we get to that, Garrett, what have you seen from this Wayland team that's really surprised you?
Yeah, Josh, I think the defensive just fluidity has surprised me. They've looked very good all game. They are getting to the quarterback. Ryan Bonvie has had an excellent game. I mean, we haven't called his name out because his receivers that he's guarding have not been targeted at all. That's safe to say that he's doing an excellent job. And then Nick Dresens, he laid the hammer a couple of different times in this half. Got to the quarterback, pressured him very well. Jake Morrison's had a difficult time getting the ball out. Just a fantastic half from this Wayland defense.
Yeah, definitely very difficult to get any breathing room for Bedford. Wayland has forced 2 turnovers, has not allowed any points, and actually, just a quick statistic, Wayland has not given up a single point since the 3rd quarter of their first game of the season against Boston Latin. What does that mean to you, Garrett?
Yeah, so obviously, Josh, I mean, this Wayland defense is built so well. Their best players on the team play on the defensive end. If you're looking at Nick Drez and Shane DeRubis, who had that unreal play to end the half there. And then also they have Will Carr playing at corner along with Ryan Bonvie. This team is just built excellently. And let's not laugh at the offense either. Jason Tucker has been playing great. Luke Taselli, while shaky at points, has looked very good. He's shown a lot of promise throughout the entire year. Overall, great game for this Wayland offense and team in general.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that one, Garrett. And, I mean, this one thing that I really like about this game is Wayland has been able to put up points without just feeding Jason over and over and over again, because that is something that a lot of people thought they might do this season in this game. But they really haven't done that. And Luke Taselli has thrown the ball very well, with the exception the last 2 drives. They sort of stalled a little bit, has some incomplete passes, but you know, Taselli is a great quarterback. He's going to play play quarterback in college, Rhodes College, for a reason. They don't just hand out offers to play quarterback for a college to anybody. So he is really an impressive quarterback, and he is making great strides to becoming that quarterback 1 for Wayland.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Josh. I mean, each game he's just going to keep getting better. Hopefully he hits his stride by the DCL playoffs when it really starts to pick up in intensity. But again, this game has been the biggest game for Wayland so far this year, as they called it, a revenge game. And you could see that from out the get-go. They were playing with intensity, getting to the quarterback. Just overall, the energy was just super refreshing. So it was an overall great game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to take a quick break. Or actually, I'm sorry, we're not going to take a quick break. Anyways, Garrett, what are you seeing from guys on this offense that may not be getting the recognition, but should be getting it?
Yeah.
Sorry, we have some issues with our halftime interview right now, so please stay tuned. But
yeah, Josh. Wayland obviously has a lot of key players. If you're looking at Luke Tiselli, Jason Tucker, and their receiving core in Will Carr and Adam Gaffel, Dylan DeRuis as a receiving core. They have been looked excellent all game. But you haven't mentioned guys that don't usually get a lot of time. Shane Sutton, you saw that kick return that he had that was unfortunately brought back. He will be a huge part of the second half, likely, as Jason Tucker will likely get a rest in this great game.
So now we're going to swing it to the sideline. Jimmy Paw, halftime interview with Coach Parsegian coming up now.
I'm here with Wayland head coach Scott Parsegian. Coach, you guys were off to a fast start with 2 quick scores. What were you telling your guys going into such a tight game?
Good question.
For the last couple games, we haven't had that fast start, so that's been our motto all week. With Boston Latin and North Quincy, it took a little while to get the offense going. Defense has been playing great all year, but our whole agenda today was come out fast, score fast. So we were lucky to get the ball, start the game, and go in and get that score. So that was good to set the tone for the game.
Big lead going in the second half with your seniors leading. We've seen Nick Dresden make big plays. Came with the interception. How are you sort of leaning on these seniors going into the second half?
I've been with these guys since they've been in second grade, coaching them. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad we have a season with them to kind of carry this thing and end on this way. So great way to seniors to go out. We have one more home game. But this game's not over yet. It's only 25-0. Anything can happen. They've been scoring a lot of points over the last couple of weeks, so I'm looking for them to kind of start trying to push us a little more. But defense is playing great so far.
And lastly, Coach, could you just tell us what you're going to tell your guys going into the second half? I know you don't want them to get lazy. Big game, playoff implications likely. What are you going to tell your guys?
Yeah, they know that we're playing for that DCL playoff berth and the DCL small title. So I think they know that.
You can also have one highlight if you want.
Better all the way around. Special teams doing great. Defense doing great. But we had a couple mess ups on the offense there. We would like to get one more score on those guys. So we'll look to do that coming up here in the third quarter.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach. Back to you, Josh.
Thank you, Jimmy. Great interview there with Coach Parsegian. An exciting game. But on defense, Wayland is looking really outstanding. As we can get a look at some of those key defensive players, as you see there. Shane DeRubis, Nick Dressens, Matt Morris, Ryan Bonvie, Damian Parsegian, all having really great games.
Yeah, Josh, and you saw Coach P say it. He wanted the defense to come out with energy in this game, and that's exactly what these 5 did. Ryan Bonvie, Nick Dressens, influential all games. Shane DeRubis at the end of the second half. I already stated, but that interception, unreal play. I think that was sort of overlooked. Damian Parsegian was involved in a couple tackles. Overall, though, just this Wayland defense is working very well as a unit, and throughout the game, throughout the season, they are only going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely, Garrett. And this has been really a very, very exciting atmosphere. Finally having fans in the stands. It is going to be a really, really exciting second half to this game, which we're going to get back to after a quick break. So please stay tuned. It's going to be exciting second half coming up next. Sure where this one is going to be marked. It will be a touchback, a little bit of a late signal.
Yeah, Josh. In this second half, look for more of Wayland's JV players, some sophomores to step into this game in a big role, because Wayland Looks like they're going to try to keep the foot on the gas pedal for a little bit, see if they can score a couple more touchdowns. The starters are on the field right now, of course. But as this game gets moving, if the first half was any sign, look for Wayland to run away with this one.
Yeah, and 25 definitely not insurmountable. Now, of course, they would have liked to score more, but I mean, you can't ask for much more than 25 against an undefeated team, no matter who their opponents have been.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't really touched on. Bedford has looked great all year long. They beat Weston by 20, scored 34-14. They blew out Cambridge Ridge and Latin to beat 2-0. Two DCL opponents as well. Overall, this Wayland team stepped up to the challenge so well. I'm sure everyone on that Wayland coaching staff has been impressed with their players' play.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, Garrett. And this one is handed off to Miles. Miles stopped immediately, wrapped up by, it looks like Charlie Bolivar was there first.
Charlie Bolivar has been all over the place in this game today, Josh. Another one of those guys, he forced a fumble earlier in the game that gave Wayland great field position. He's played an excellent game.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Shane DeRubis in that tackle. Shane DeRubis having an outstanding game, and that's to no one's surprise. He's just one of those guys that is expected to produce. This one's batted in the air and caught by Charlie Naylor. Or no, they will rule it an incomplete pass.
That was a very smart play by Jake Morrison there. The ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Let's see who it was here. It was Will Carr getting up there. But Morrison, as you see, is batting it down, making sure that a Wayland player could not intercept it. Smart play there from Morrison.
Yeah, really just a great play all around. Smart play by Morrison, but actually almost went badly as it hit his own defender, or hit his own offensive lineman. That's actually a good pass to Naylor that was dropped.
Bedford needs to capitalize on those chances. Jake Morrison there threw an excellent pass. Charles Naylor, though, was unable to come down with it. If Bedford wants to get back in this game, they need to come down with those passes.
And an official timeout here, an injury timeout. We cannot tell who that is on Bedford. Looks like it might be Jamie Buchanan. Number 50, it is number 51.
Dylan Likens, he is down, sophomore, or excuse me, freshman.
And luckily he is limping off the field under his own power, though. You hope he's okay. You never want to see a play like that.
Yeah, Josh, injuries are just brutal. Wayland has been plagued with them, as we touched on. Teddy Rice must be killing. He must want to be in this game, unfortunately. He had a nasty injury in their opening scrimmage against Waltham. Stinks for him. Stinks for all injuries, though, Josh.
Yeah, definitely. And now, third quarter, 25-0. It just makes injuries that much worse. But this ball is punted away and going to be returned by Goodfellow, who gets knocked out of bounds at the Bedford 31-yard line. So a good return by Goodfellow and great field position for Wayland. That's been a huge story to this game.
Yeah, Josh, the field position battle, Wayland has been dominating, just like so many more aspects of this game. But Wayland has yet to really have to make a long drive in this game, except for really their opening drive when Jason Tucker broke out for a 50-yard run to start it off. So Wayland winning the field position battle, and that's been key to their success.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wayland will take over with 10.5 left to go in the third quarter. Tiselli looking to start fresh after starting to not move the ball as well. Tucker working on picking up some yards. He does. Gets around 4 or 5. So Bedford really on defense not doing a terrible job, as they have not been given very good field possession by their offense and special teams.
Yeah, really, I believe Wayland's only points in the second quarter were a safety. So Bedford's defense picking up the intensity, and they responded to really getting punched in the mouth early in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. As Tucker working to the outside, a flag is called. I believe that's going to be called on Nick Dressens, maybe possibly a holding.
Yeah, it looks like the referee is signaling for a hold. That's going to be brought back.
And Dressens getting a little bit too excited there, getting his snaps on offense for the first time of his career. Not in this game for the first time of his career, but this season. So Whalen will be faced with a 2nd and long after the penalty. This ball's brought back to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, looks like 2nd and around 17, Josh. Long distance for Wayland here. I'm curious to see what they'll do. Will they test out Luke DeCelli's arm like they have for a good part of this game?
So it is Toselli with Dressens and Tucker in the backfield. Toselli down the field, intercepted by Charlie Naylor. That pass was deflected by Tatarchuk. And that is the first spark of energy that Bedford has had in this game.
Yeah, really the first big play from Bedford. Bedford must be delighted to get back on the field. Great interception here. It was tipped. Luke DeCelli, play action pass. He was targeting Will Carr in this one, but tipped at the line, caught by number 2, Charles Naylor, excuse me.
Yeah, and that was really just a little bit underthrown as we see those Wayland stands starting to fill up a little bit as they let more fans into the stands. Definitely a great sight to see. So 1st and 10 now, still not great field position for the Buccaneers. As you see Toselli on the sideline there. And so it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers. Pour in the backfield. Morrison out wide.
Great
Nice
catch by Naylor.
Little bit of a toe tap there, Garrett.
That was impressive. One of the first receptions for this Bedford team that has been down the field almost, but it's going to be 3rd and short still for Bedford.
Yeah, so 3rd and around 2 yards as Morrison on a QB power will pick up the 1st down.
I like that play call there from Bedford. I think that was just what they needed. Morrison running the ball. Obviously, one of their better skill position players. He can run and pass. We've seen that in this game. It's smart play because the pass has been inconsistent. I like the run call there.
Yeah, and a little bit of a quick snap, too, before Wayland could really get situated. As this one is a handoff to Miles. And he is brought down for a gain of 8, or around 7. Morrison now hands it off to Miles, and Miles gets brought down. He's going nowhere.
Alex Mealy met him there, Josh. Great play there from him. 2nd time we're calling his name. It's going to be 3rd and short now for Bedford.
And, this is the first time they're really getting a drive going since they ended their drive on a fumble that was really just a miscommunication. So definitely want to convert here.
3rd and 3 for Bedford now.
And camera really shaking now as the wind is picking up. There's a good camera angle there. And Morrison deep. Bonvie draped over Naylor, but that ball was caught.
That was a great throw there from Morrison.
Yeah.
Really dropped in the bucket there.
Really good defense by Bonvie. It looked like they thought it hit the ground. Yeah, Bonvie and Goodfellow immediately were asking for an incomplete pass, but they do rule it a completion. It looked like he did catch it.
Yeah, and now Bedford, first real drive down the field. They want points here, and they look fired up on this sideline. First real spark of energy that we've seen from this team all night.
Yeah, and it is still a 4-possession game, so they have quite a while to go. But a touchdown here would definitely help their cause. And with Wayland starting to stall on offense, Bedford could put up points pretty quickly if they can get their offense moving.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with you there, Josh. This Bedford team wants to keep moving. They want to move fast on offense at this point. They got only 19 minutes left of game time to make up a pretty big lead. Not impossible, given how Wayland's offense has looked of late. But I believe they're going to keep going, keep looking to find seams in the passing game like they just have. Jake Morrison starting to heat up a little bit. Let's see if this Wayland secondary can respond, meet the challenge when they're really facing their first adversity all night.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's probably exactly what the coaches are telling them is, it's like Matt Morris not in the game. Interesting. Maybe just getting him a breather on first down. So Bedford coming out now with a new energy. Tatarchuk and Laguerre out wide to the right, Naylor to the left. Handoff to Poor, he goes nowhere. A group of Wayland defenders, Dressens, Parsegian among them. Along with Will Ruland, who calling his name for the first time. It looks like Ruland was actually the first one there. Defensive tackle. Or defensive end. And handoff to Miles. It looked like he may have had a little bit of a burst, but a great job by Dressens to bring him down.
Yeah, that's Dressens again. That was a fantastic tackle there from Dressens. That stopped possible first down carry there. Dressens got him by the ankles, took him down. Yet another great play by him.
Yeah, Nick Dressens really just separating himself from the competition. You could tell that is not just any high school football player out there. Not many guys, as easy as as he made that tackle look, not many guys are making that tackle in a guy who's just picking up speed going through the line.
100%, Josh.
Poor now. Hodgeberger got his hands on him first, then it was Dressens again, as Alex Mealy thought he got held.
Yeah, Ruland was the one who finally took him down after Dressens initially met him. Second time calling Will's name. He's making an impact in his minutes so far in this game.
So now, looks like a timeout call. Not sure by who.
Yeah, the officials did not give us a signal onto what side there from our angle.
So, a critical third down here. And this may be 4-down territory for Bedford. A field goal doesn't help them all that much, although it is 4 possessions. So,
no, I really do think that they want a touchdown here, Josh. At this point, they need to send a message. And as you look at the stands, first students that we've seen at the stands in a while for Wayland. Nice to see. Of course, all socially distanced, wearing masks, following the EEA guidelines.
And this Wayland is really known athletically for their really intense student section in past years, when Wayland, really not a big school, showing up to some of these major playoff games against bigger schools and just completely outdoing them with the fan section side of it. So really, really hard with COVID to not have the best fans in the DCL at every game just making a ton of noise.
Yeah, I know. I can speak from personal experience with basketball. It was definitely different in the gym, so nice to see them back in this one.
Definitely weird to be able to hear everything they're saying, every play call. I was commentating the games from in our studios. We're not allowed where we normally are in the bleachers, but obviously you didn't commentate those games because you were playing in them, but definitely a weird atmosphere. So now first down for Bedford. Handoff, or no, not handed off, as it's an option. Morrison almost escaped there.
Yeah, it looks like Goodfellow and Mealy there combining for the tackle.
Goodfellow saved a touchdown there. As it'll be 2nd and around 2.5 yards from the 5-yard line.
This has been a very long drive from Bedford. Long, methodical. This is going to be huge for their confidence going forward. But at the same time, they need to start moving a little bit faster.
Handoff to Poor inside. No, they are going to call it a touchdown. Zachary Poor puts it into the end zone for Bedford. Bedford finally on the board here with 4:41 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and Josh, as we were saying at the halftime, this Wayland has been shutting out their opponents for the last game and a half. First points that Wayland has allowed since the 3rd quarter of their game against Boston Latin. Impressive stat nonetheless, but Bedford now slowly creeping back into this game.
As this ball is kicked through the uprights for a win, for the extra point is good, as those points will go to Bedford. So it is 25-7. So still a 3-possession lead for Wayland. Definitely nothing to get worried about quite yet, but you definitely love to get some insurance points and just really stick the dagger into the Buccaneers.
Big time drive here from Wayland, because if Wayland gets stopped and Bedford drives and scores the ball, we have a game all of a sudden. So Wayland needs points in a big way here, and look to rely on Jason Tucker, I feel like, in this game. We haven't really called, obviously he's gotten a lot of volume, but he wants as many touches as possible. He'll never shy away from it. At this point, get the ball to your best player.
Yeah, and the sun has set now, as the lights are now fully on at the field. So you get that full under the lights feeling now. So for the first time of this game, Bedford will have a kickoff, other than the safety kickoff, but that was from the 20-yard line. It'll be Tatarchuk to kick it off. And Tatarchuk, a little bit of a squib kick, maybe an onside kick, but
attempt.
It was recovered by Jaden St. Felix. Wayland not ready for it, but still a great job by St. Felix to recognize it.
Yeah, that's a great play. See the coaching staff all congratulating him, all of his players. They realize how big of a play that is, because if Bedford gets the ball back, they suddenly have a lot of time and very few yards to go. Great play there from Jaden St. Felix. He's going to be important down the stretch for Wayland in both special teams and defense. He is the 2nd cornerback on this team. He has really been playing some great football as of late. So look for him to keep going.
I honestly like that aggressiveness from Bedford. Really nothing to lose.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing to lose.
Now Tucker up the middle for a quick 6 yards. That was not the same Jason Tucker, the shifty Jason Tucker that we know. That was just Jason the Bulldozer just getting an easy 6 yards. So now Dressen's lined up at that H-back position, or actually Hochberger, as Tucker breaks a few tackles and gets out to the 45 for a Wayland first down.
Yet another one of those runs, Josh, where any other ordinary running back would have gone stopped for a loss. Tucker made the most out of it and was able to pick up the first down. Great play there from Jason.
So clock winding down. Tucker now looking for room to run.
Matt Morris just bulldozing over the Bedford defensive line. That was impressive.
And don't think that Morris doesn't take pride in those pancake blocks. Matt Morris is a very passionate player, which we've said many times, and he loves to just
take down
destroy
his
the defensive tackles. And Taselli rolling out to his right, avoids a tackler, and incomplete, I believe, along the sideline. Kind of lost where that ball went.
Looks like they're calling an intentional grounding there at Taselli. Taselli is not happy about it, though.
And he is arguing he was out of the tackle box. Let's see if this ball got back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, I don't know about that, Garrett. It looked like that ball got past to the line of scrimmage, so Taselli may have a beef there.
Yeah, great job from Taselli, first of all, avoiding that tackle. That was impressive in the first part. I don't understand that call there.
Yeah, it looked like that ball definitely reached the line of scrimmage, but with that being said, it's going to be a long third down. Taselli from the shotgun. Handoff to Tucker.
Wrapped up there. Great tackle there from Jamie Buchanan. We've called his name a lot on the defensive end. Wrapping up Tucker again. Not an easy kind of tackle.
Yeah, definitely not. As Wayland will bring the punt unit out. Harry Kiesman looking to help out this Wayland defense. Give Bedford a tough situation offensively. As a timeout called again, as you see Jason Tucker there on the sideline. Hasn't quite yet been able to break off a ton of huge runs, with the exception of really that first play of the game, as Taselli and Tucker trying to get the communication on point here. As the offense, since the first quarter, has scored just, well, actually, the offense has not scored. Wayland has scored 2 points on a safety, but the offense has not scored since the first quarter, when it looked like they were just going to put up 100 points.
Yeah, Josh. The Bedford defense really stepped up. Wayland has lost their edge. It feels like to start this game, Wayland was just buzzing with a ton of energy. Now, sort of slowed down, and Bedford has settled into their game. It looks like we might be in for a good one down the stretch here if Bedford can get points. Again, big if, considering how well this Wayland defense is playing.
Yeah, it seems like every possession is crucial at this point for Bedford. So they just got to keep putting up points. So Tatarchuk back to return for Bedford. Kiesman boots it down the field, and it was punted out of bounds. Not a terrible punt. It will be placed at the Wayland 32-yard line.
Yeah, I think that's
the Bedford 32-yard line.
Yeah, I think that's a great punt there from Kiesman, actually. Really set Bedford back. 68 yards they need to go. That's a long way. And it will likely take up a lot of time as well, which is something that Wayland might be clock watching a little bit. Who knows at this point?
And look at that beautiful view. Here as the sun is setting. Just a really nice night for some Wayland football under the lights against Bedford. Morrison now hands it off to Poor. Poor working to get some yardage, and he does. Taking it to the 44-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd and short now. And someone for Bedford is down once again, as he will roll onto his backside and wait for treatment.
That looks like Poor, who's really been a difference maker in this game, but it might just be cramps there, Josh, as they're stretching it out.
Yeah, you hope so, because he is definitely a valuable player. One of their 2 running backs, and he is responsible for their only touchdown of the game. Had that touchdown last drive. So,
yeah, and he's really gotten the majority of handoffs over running back Eric Miles. Both players obviously very different running backs. It's nice to see, though, Poor being able to walk on his own power off the field. Hopefully he'll get a return soon.
Yeah, not really even limping at this point, just sort of walking. So I imagine he will be back in this game soon enough. But for now, it's going to be on the shoulders of Eric Miles, who has had a ridiculous game on the defensive side of the ball. Hasn't quite had a huge impact on offense. And Morrison with a QB power takes it for a 1st down.
Yeah, it looks like whenever their go-to in this 2nd, 3rd, and short, is a Jake Morrison power play. And you know what? It's worked for Bedford so far.
Yeah.
He hasn't really gotten stopped for a loss anytime when all you need to do is pick up 2 yards. All you need is a guy like that.
Yeah, you just have to wonder if the hits are building up on him, because this Wayland team hits hard, and this is a screen pass to Naylor. Naylor's going to pick up some yards before getting brought down at the 47-yard line, now in Warrior territory.
Yeah, 2nd and 5 now. Interesting play here for Bedford. Will they stick with the pass or will they go to the run? What's been working for them all year? So they do hand off the ball. Morrison keeps it, actually.
And he is brought down. It's going to be close. We'll see if they give them the first down. Waiting for that signal.
It's like 3rd and inches,
Call
Josh.
it third down.
They might be bringing out the measurement.
Yeah, they're going to bring out the chains here. It looks like, from our perspective, that it is a little bit short. Just very close, though. So we'll wait for them to bring out the chains. And yes, it is third down, just barely short. So we'll see if they go to that Jake Morrison power play. It has seemed to be effective in this game.
Oh, yeah. I would not be surprised if they go to this play, Josh.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I would not be surprised.
They have not had another look for 3rd and short. This Wayland coaching staff knows it. Obviously, brilliant football minds there on the sideline. So let's see how they adapt to this. Although Morrison now not in the shotgun. Straight sneak,
and I don't think he got it. Sam Hodgeberger coming from behind and throwing him down. He is short, so it's going to be a 4th and short. I think they're going to go for it, Garrett.
Yes, they need to, Josh, at this point. Great play there from Sam Hodgeberger. Just boots right up, took down Morrison.
And that was Matt Morse that caused that. You know, hard to tell there, you know, when a guy like a defensive tackle like that, but he bulldozed the center and made it so Morrison had nowhere to go. So that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Josh, end of the 3rd quarter.
We're going to take a quick break and be right back. So a great defensive stand for the Wayland Warriors. And if you're just joining in, this is Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland varsity football. I'm Josh Schreiber. Alongside me is Garrett Spooner. And we have been treated to a very good game. Wayland up pretty big right now, up 3 possessions, but definitely still time. But Wayland with a chance here to really put this game away.
Yeah, Josh. Wayland has been playing an excellent game from the start. They came out with a ton of energy. If you missed it, this is a revenge game. Bedford canceled them on their schedule last year. Wayland was hungry from the start. Went up 25-0, but then Bedford has since responded with the touchdown. This is going to be an interesting finish.
As Tucker takes it, there he goes, 20-10, touchdown. Jason Tucker, house call for Wayland as they stick the dagger into the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and that's just what Jason Tucker can do, Josh. Really showed off his speed there, down the sideline. Saw him break free from the tackle, just get outside, and no one was stopping him from there. That will put the game to bed there, Josh.
And that is really just showing off the speed that Tucker has. 30 yards down the field, he is blowing by Tatarchuk, who's their safety, and who is not a slow guy, by the way. So that is just unbelievable by Tucker. Finally breaking off that big carry that we were waiting for since the first play of the game.
Yeah, Josh. This Bedford Buccaneers team has struggled to contain Tucker all night. So Bedford's gonna need to come back in this one and stop Tucker.
So Jason Tucker adding to his legacy with a long touchdown run, and that is just a huge score for Wayland as they go up 32-7. And Kiesman will now kick this. That is Tucker's second touchdown of this game.
Yeah, now Wayland is really extending this lead, Josh. I cannot see Bedford coming back from this one, especially with their inability to really throw the ball downfield.
Let's put it this way, Garrett. If they somehow lose this game, Coach P is going to be very, very upset in our post-game interview with him. So we hope for really our sake that there is nothing that Bedford can do in this one, as they take this one on another handoff, which sort of worked actually to Javon Williams.
I sort of like that.
Yeah, I could see that working. It's just when you do it every single time.
Yeah, maybe mix in like a fake handoff.
Yeah. Which they actually may have done earlier in the game, but. With that being said, not too much damage is done on that kickoff. 25-yard line is all they get to. So Wayland out on defense. Still have all the starters in. Morrison in the shotgun. Or really not in the shotgun, but spread offense. And as you see there, Zachary Poore is back in the game, so that is good to see that he is all right.
Yeah, that's a great sign for Bedford. He's played a pretty big role in this game, obviously getting the touchdown. He was unable to get the fourth down conversion when they really needed it. But overall, great game from him in what's been a really stagnant Bedford offense.
And Morrison down the sideline. That was a great pass.
Great coverage there from Jaden St. Felix. That was excellent coverage, draped all over Charles Naylor.
And really, yeah, you mentioned great coverage, but that was an underrated pass.
Yes.
Naylor was not open at all when that ball was released. And look at that throw. Wow. Not able to come down with it, but that is quite possibly the best throw we've seen all game. And Jake Morrison just trying to do all he can to keep this team alive. Morrison now. Throw is batted down.
Charlie Boulevard there to bat that one down. That's two batted down passes from this Wayland line. Will Carr had one in the first half that almost led to an interception. And there, Charlie Boulevard getting big, getting up there to block that one down.
As now 4th and 6. Really nothing Bedford can do other than go for it. And they actually do punt it. Interesting. It looks like the punter did get it off. Interesting play. This one will roll.
Yeah, looked like another bad snap there, Josh. The punter just had to improvise. He's had to do a lot of that tonight. That's about the third bad snap that I've seen tonight from this Bedford team on punts. That's not a recipe for success.
Yeah, definitely not, Garrett, and it hasn't been in this game. honestly, at the end of this game, I don't want to say it's the reason they will lose, assuming this game does not dramatically change and quickly, but the Bedford offense and defense, sure, they haven't been great, but the special teams has really put them in a spot where there's nothing their defense can do. When Wayland is getting the ball at the 15-yard line several times, I mean, there's only so much you can ask your defense to do. As this one is taken to the outside, Tucker again.
Wow, Jason Tucker, he can fly. I know we've said that multiple times, but this Bedford defense has no answer.
And Tucker now looking a little bit tired, but it also may be a little bit of an act to the defense because when he gets the ball, he is still absolutely motoring. As you see there, 2 touchdowns already tonight. Starting to look like my Shane Sutton prediction may not come to fruition.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect them to stick with Tucker this long. As Tucker breaks a tackle in the backfield again, somehow manages to pick up 7 or 8 yards on that one.
Yeah, Davon Williams there coming down with the tackle. Great tackle there from him, but Tucker just shifty. Unable to be taken down here.
And look at that.
Great cut there from Tucker.
Making the Bedford defenders look ridiculous. And that snap was actually fumbled and on the ground, so a great composure by Taselli. And bit of a play action. Taselli looking to throw deep.
Great
As
pass
far
there from Taselli.
into the end zone. House call for Wayland again.
Now that is the Luke Taselli I was used to seeing. Great throw from him. Will Carr able to turn downfield quickly. Look at this throw.
And that pass just over Charlie Naylor's head, right on the money to Carr, who was able to walk into the end zone after that throw. What a job. And yeah, Garrett, this game is done.
Yeah, I think that just about puts the nail in the coffin. Kiesman will look to make it a 32-point lead.
As
although
the snap is
faked
fumbled. I think it was actually fumbled. It was not supposed to be a fake.
Yeah.
Taselli throws that one.
That would have been a very aggressive play call, taking the revenge game to its true meaning. But Wayland, 31-point lead. This game just looks out of reach now at this point, Josh.
Yeah, and by the way, I said the snap was fumbled. It was not fumbled by Taselli. It was just not a very good snap as that ball just thrown out of the back of the end zone. Smart play. And when you're up 31, when plays like that happen, you can just laugh and shake it off.
Yeah. Maybe if they needed that extra point to take the lead, might be a different story, as you were saying. But yeah, no harm there from Wayland. Just they're allowed to make a mistake once in a while.
So Wayland up big in this statement game. And honestly, Garrett, I think we don't really talk about it enough, but this Wayland versus Bedford just town rivalry, it's quietly been a pretty strong rivalry over the years, specifically with basketball and football. Students at Wayland don't like Bedford all that much, and there's a famous word that Wayland uses. They call the Bedford Buccaneers the bed rats for whatever reason, but obviously just kind of shows the hatred that they have for Bedford, and because they've had some pretty tight games.
Yeah, Josh. It's similar sized schools. That makes a difference. And yeah, we're slowly building a rivalry here as Weston, fails to put out competitive teams.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, Bedford a little bit further than Weston. But you mentioned these games throughout all sports really have been much more competitive with Bedford. And Bedford, I will say, also does have a pretty impressive student section. So it will be 2nd and 10 for Bedford. Morrison fakes the handoff on the option, and he gets brought down by, hard to tell, I think that might be Mealy, who's now down on the ground.
Yeah, hate to see that, Josh.
Looks like something with his head. He may have caught a knee to the helmet there as he walks off the field without his helmet. So hopefully he's okay. Especially at the end of the game here. Maybe that inspires Coach Parsegian to take out the starters, but as of right now, they're all still in there.
Mm-hmm.
And now Morrison calling something to the offensive line and hands it off to Poor. Poor not really getting anything, though.
And yet another showing of this Whalen defensive line just dominating. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. I think it's safe to say Poor has been unable to really get anything going outside of that touchdown. Been stopped at the line of scrimmage multiple times.
So that actually was a Bedford first down conversion there. They only needed one. And now handoff. This one goes nowhere. A loss of yardage. It looked like Luciano Sebastianelli in there for the tackle.
His first of the game, it seems like, from Luciano.
And a lot of hands on hips. Guys seem to be getting pretty tired as the clock winds down in this game. And this one, handoff. A new face out there for Bedford. I don't think that was... It may have been Eric Miles, actually. I thought I saw number 22, but it was 26, Eric Miles. Little burst of speed.
Yeah, showed off his athleticism there. He really hasn't been used that much in this game, although he has been known to have some huge runs throughout Bedford's season.
So third down, Morrison rolling out to his left. Incomplete pass. Bonvie draped over Naylor.
And if the last drive was any indication, I bet Bedford will be punting here, although not quite sure.
Yeah, it looks like right now they still have... Looks like they are going to go for it, except their punter is their wide receiver, number 3 right there, Laguerre. So
no one knows.
It looks like he is lining up as a wide receiver, though. So yes, they will go for it. Morrison out to his right again, or to his left, and he gets brought down. Sam Hochberger.
Sam Hochberger is playing a fantastic game today, Josh.
Yeah, Hochberger got that coveted Warrior helmet in their last game against North Quincy for just great blocks, great defensive play. He gets a sack here as Whalen will take over at the 35-yard line. Whalen clearly the dominant team.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Whalen will look to do here. They might just try to run the ball, run it out, or get aggressive. Who knows? Luke DeSalle remains in the game, though, along with the rest of the offensive starters.
And Shane Sutton is in the game.
Josh, it might come true. It might come true.
We'll see. And Sutton now out to the left. Breaks a tackle. Wow, what a burst by Shane Sutton. He is a very fast running back.
Yeah, and strong. That stiff arm on that Bedford defender, impressive. And he was able to break out. Great blocking downfield. Sutton sprints down the field, and Wayland is now in the red zone.
Yeah, and the clock now winding down in this game. So we'll see if Wayland even attempts to score again. You know, I think they can take a knee at this point. So we'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, it looked like victory formation there, Josh.
Yep, you're right, Garrett. Victory formation for Wayland. 38-7 will be the final score. They're going to have to take a knee a couple times. But Garrett, what a game that was for the Wayland Warriors on all aspects of the ball.
Yeah, it's a statement game, Josh, because Bedford is no awful competitor, and Wayland just proved to be heads and shoulders above the level of this team. And really, going forward, Wayland has Cambridge. They picked up a loss against Bedford, and then they're going away to Chelmsford, out-of-league opponent. That should be an interesting one. Unfortunately, it is away, so we will not be on the call. And then after that, DCL playoffs and likely a home game at this point for Wayland. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, they have to take care of some business
Take care of
first.
some business, of course.
They have a few more games left. And next week, we will be right back here as they play Cambridge. And, who knows? You never know how games can go. But we'll put it this way. Cambridge got sort of blown out by Bedford. And we saw how this game went. So that will do it in this game. Please stay tuned, though. We have our post-game show right after this. But then we will have an interview. But there you see it. Jason Tucker, definitely the player of the game here tonight. 2 touchdowns. We're not exactly sure about the yardage, but I'm guessing it was somewhere around 200 yards. So really, just an outstanding game. And, in a game like this, Garrett, it can be hard to really keep the energy up the whole game. And, after scoring 23 points in the first, Wayland's offense sort of stalled, but they got right back in it, put some more points up at the board in the end of the game.
Yeah, Josh, look for a second there like it might get rocky. Bedford cut the lead down to 18 with about a quarter and a half left and stopped Wayland. Unfortunately for Wayland, their defense picked up in a big way to finish that game and close out the victory. And a hard-fought victory here for Wayland. I was very impressed with the team tonight.
Yeah, and Garrett, can you give me before we get to this Coach Parsegian interview, he has to give out that Warrior helmet. We'll see who he ends up giving it to. But who are some of your, give me 3 of your best players in this game. Who played the best?
Yeah, so first of all, it has to be Jason Tucker. 2 touchdowns on the night. As you said, likely over 200 yards. Don't have the exact statistics for that one. He's definitely number 1. I think Nick Dresden's just all over the place on defense, Josh. As we've seen, he's just an excellent player. And then finally, my third best player, I think it has to be Luke DeCelli, as you see here in this highlight reel. Running for a touchdown. He had 2 passing of his own. Really got over the mistakes of the first half.
Yeah, and here you see some of the highlights of this game. There was that forced fumble. Charlie Boulevard getting in there first. And really just from the start, Wayland came out with something to prove, as we see here. This pass to Sam Hochberger. Hochberger did get brought down. And then Jason Tucker, stiff arm, staying in bounds, going up the sideline. Jason Tucker was big, but Luke DeCelli really came out with something to prove. Well, obviously not a great pass to say that on, as that wasn't one of his better passes. But Shane DeRubis on defense just looked outstanding, getting that interception, ripping the ball out of Naylor's hands. Now we see Morris in that pass, batted down, and then almost caught by Naylor. DeCelli, that was the interception that was that was sort of when it seemed like Bedford might be making a comeback, as was this incredible throw and catch by Naylor. But then Jason Tucker did this. Long touchdown run, beating everyone to the house. Really just making it from a 25-7 game to 31-7. Morrison made this incredible pass that was not completed, but Morrison really did look pretty good. But Jason Tucker, this guy is just an incredible runner.
So hard to take down, Josh, in open space.
And then this one sealed it for sure. 31-point victory for Wayland, 38-7, as Bedford couldn't really do anything on this possession either, as Sam Hochberger sacked Morrison on that 4th and 6. Then Shane Sutton only got 1 carry in this game, but
made the most of it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It looked like for a few seconds that they were going to be able to take it to the house, but Garrett, this was just one heck of a game, and you think, well, if Bedford is supposed to be their best opponent in the DCL Small, is Wayland just far and away better than everyone? Is that what this is looking like?
I think so, Josh. I mean, we have to see some consistency. I mean, they're in another big game against Cambridge next week. Can't take that one for granted. But Wayland so far has looked heads and shoulders the best team in the DCL Small. Unfortunately for them, they don't get to test themselves out against DCL large teams like the Lincoln Sudbury's, Concord Carlisle's, those that have a lot of power. Other than that, though, Wayland has played a great football all season long, Josh.
Yeah, and I believe this is a different type of DCL playoffs where they will be able to face the DCL large teams if they get to the Super Bowl, which obviously not the same type of Super Bowl as we'd be used to seeing. But, I mean, we're ready to go for this interview with Coach Parsegian, post-game interview coming up right now.
Hello, thank you. I'm here with Wayland head coach Scott Parsegian again. Coach P, huge win. What does this mean for the team going forward?
Well, we pretty much reached our goal that I think we'll win the DCL Small. We have one more game in Cambridge, but puts us in the driver's seat right now to make the tournament and enter the DCL tournament and play a large team.
I've been hearing that this game had home field playoff implications. What does this mean to possibly have home field advantage versus going to a different town?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really decided how they're going to do the seeds right now yet. So, I mean, it does put us in a pretty good spot if we can win out next weekend. And then again, we got to go against Chelmsford for our last game of the regular season. So, if we can continue to win out the rest of the way and be 5-0, I think we could see that probably 2 spot, maybe 1. We'll see what happens. But again, we got to play better than that because we're going to go up against Acton Foxborough, Westford Academy, Lincoln Sudbury, Concord Carlisle, some of the bigger teams in our league, and we can't make so many mistakes out there. So yeah, the score's great, but we know inside that we got to correct some things.
And lastly, you touched on playing Cambridge next week. What are you looking at the guys to end up the regular season there next week?
Yeah, it's going to be senior week, senior night. It's our last home game of the season. We've never played Cambridge. They've been in DCL large. This is the first time they're coming in DCL small with us. So I don't know what to expect them. I know it's a huge school. They got some great athletes out there. So we got to really look at them, focus on them. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be senior night too.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks.
Well, you heard it there. Confidence is key for this Wayland team. And after winning by 31 to who we thought was their best opponent in the DCL Small, Coach Parsegian still thinks there's plenty of room to improve. He said they've got to play better if they want to beat those teams like Acton Boxborough, like Lincoln Sudbury. But yeah, Garrett, I think they have the team to do it.
Yeah, Josh, completely agree. And I completely agree with Coach Parsegian, too. There were a couple lapses in this Wayland team that needs to get ironed out before they play those DCL large teams. Cambridge is a good test. As you said, very athletic school, always good. So it'll be a fun matchup next week, senior night.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for joining us. This has been Wayland Student Press Network's live coverage of Wayland varsity football. I've been Josh Schreiber. Alongside me, Garrett Spooner. We will see you next week, same time, Friday, against Cambridge Ridge and Latin. Have a good night. We'll see you later.